Hey there. Um, it's a little early this morning. It's right around 5:35 a.m. on Tuesday, August 22nd. This is the third time I'm trying to make this video because it's still kind of early. I haven't had all of my coffee yet. Um, but I got up really early this morning at 3:45 a.m. in anticipation of a Zoom meeting with a friend in South Africa who is 6 hours ahead of us here in Boston. So South Africa is basically on the European time zone for France and Germany and England and Ireland. So anybody who's in those countries is pretty much on the same time as South Africa. And this was a meeting that we've had planned for weeks, and he has a calendar on LinkedIn, so I chose 11:30 a.m. on Tuesday the 22nd. And because he's in South Africa, I figured the 11:30 a.m. was South African time, right? That would make sense. So I got up this morning, bright early, started getting my coffee, my breakfast, started neatening things in this unit just in case you wanted to see what my place looks like and stuff like that. Um, and I really felt like I was on top of my game today. It's like, yeah, I've got this 5:30 a.m. Zoom call, South African time. I started sending him emails at 4:45 a.m. So 45 minutes early, like, hey, are we still on for the meeting this morning? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, it's much later for him this morning. So he's already up, and I guess he was at the gym. And I was like, okay, talk to you in a few. And he's like, it's for 11:30 your time, right? In Boston. And I was like, wait, what? Your calendar said 11:30 a.m. And he's like, yeah, but that's for Boston, not for South Africa, not for Cape Town. So I am up feeling like I'm right on top of things, and I'm just on point, and I'm 6 hours off. And in the meantime, I had like 3 hours of sleep, and now I'm wide awake, and I'm going to have to just get stuff done anyway. But I thought that was kind of funny because, I sent him this text message and was like, yeah, I'm at 50. I'm at the point where I'm not sure if I'm having a senior moment or a blonde moment. And I've spent my entire life having blonde moments because even though my hair is a little darker these days, like as you can see, it's, kind of a dark blonde. I was a pretty light blonde naturally for my entire life up through maybe a few years ago. And even now, like if I spend enough time in the sun, my hair will lighten up really fast. So it goes blonde within a few hours of me sitting in bright sunshine. My hair goes blonde anyway. So definitely still somewhat of a natural blonde, even if it's not blonde. So I chalk up a lot of like airheaded moments to blonde moments. But now that I'm 50, I'm like, well, is it a blonde moment or a senior moment? Because I'm not really able to tell the difference between the two right now. So my friend, I've known him for almost 20 years. I met him right around 2004 at Club Cafe in the South End when my girlfriends and I were doing a lot of clubbing in the South End. We would go to gay clubs because going to straight clubs meant we were always getting like aggressively harassed and hit on and having our legs humped by desperate straight men. So we would go to gay clubs just to dance and to hang out with each other and to be left alone, because gay guys are not going to try to hump your leg usually at a club, but the desperate horny straight guys will, and we were just not into desperate horny straight guys. It's just gross. That's part of the reason I'm still single, because pretty much the only guys that are single out there are desperate horny straight guys to this day. So maybe I should start clubbing again in the South End and just meet a few more gay friends. But anyway, I met this friend of mine back in 2004 at Club Cafe, and we just hit it off, and we've been tight ever since. He moved to South Africa with his partner about 8 years ago, I think, and they live in this beautiful home in Cape Town. It's actually been featured, I believe, in Architectural Digest because his partner is a interior decorator that's quite talented and did an amazing renovation on their townhouse in Cape Town. So they have this beautiful place in Cape Town, and they've had it for years. So that's where they are now. And of course, I thought today's Zoom meeting was 11:30 a.m. Cape Town time, right? Because that's what it said on his calendar. But it's 11:30 a.m. Boston time. So again, I'm just, here I am thinking I'm on top of things, and I've got it all together this morning. And of course, I'm 6 hours off, but he thought it was funny. And it's going to be great to chat with him I had quite a few really close gay guy friends about 10, 12 years ago, and they all kind of scattered to the four winds. And of course, it's like, as with anybody, when you're single, you're just out and about and ready to mingle, and you're just, making new friends right and left. But then once everybody partners off, as a lot of my gay guy friends did, they just become really domesticated. Then they just stay home. So you don't go out anymore. And if you want to see them still and hang out, you have to physically like go to their houses, which isn't always easy if you don't have a car and if you rely on public transportation. So I lost contact with quite a few of my gay guy friends about 8 years ago, when they all kind of just, paired off with their partners and then moved to the suburbs. And then if I wanted to see them, I was the one who had to take the subway, take the bus, like on and on, because I was the one who was more mobile than them. And so, you kind of lose touch with people over the years. But my friend just reached out to me on LinkedIn a few weeks ago and was like, hey, are you still in Boston? What's going on? Let's meet up. Let's chat. So that's in 6 hours. But hey, at least I'm awake, and, I was ready. And it's just funny, again, at 50, it's like, wow, am I like having a senior moment, or was this just another blonde moment of many blonde moments in my life? I mean, I'm not stupid, but I've always had this tendency to like, just like now, just like overlook critical details. So I've had a lot of moments where it's like, I'm totally on top of things. I'm ready. My paper is like, I spent like 3 nights not sleeping, writing like a 25-page paper, turn it into the professor, and they're like, yeah, it's due next week, that kind of thing. You're like, oh God. So yeah, but hey, at least I'm ready, right? So yeah, that just happened.